Hi everyone, here we are for another Hatton's Model Railways SkillsCast, where I show you some of the basics behind getting started with kit building, other skills that can really enhance your models and your layout. As you've no doubt guessed, today we're having a look at building some card kits. They're a really cost-effective way of getting some really good buildings onto your layout. There's a wide variety of them out there now. You can build buildings, platforms, pretty much everything you can imagine. They're great for customizations too. And of course, you don't need a huge amount of different skills here. So it's really easy for you beginners to get started in adding a bit of individuality to your layout. Today, I'm going to get started with building some of the Metcalfe Models double O gauge platform kits. I have put a link in the description for the entire Metcalfe Models range. But if you want more details, do put a comment in the section now and I'll answer questions throughout the stream. Otherwise, let's get started and have a look at getting one of these kits built. So, all the tools I have here are the tools we'll be using today. I've got a rather sharp pencil, a good steel ruler, and a scalpel as well. And if you need any of those, you can pick them up from our website. The only other thing I have, which really is an essential for when we're building card kits, is a really good glue for them. And I've got the AD57 Rocket Card Glue from Deluxe Materials, which really is the right tool for the job. If you are building card kits, if you're building quite a few of them as well, don't go without this. This really is the stuff that you need. So let's get started anyway. Let's have a little look at what we have. In the box comes various different rather anonymous looking pieces to start off with, but all will become clear as to how they turn out. We have the bracing pieces there. We have our stone platform edges. We have our self-adhesive coping strips for the top of the platforms. And we have, of course, our platform tops as well, which is a nice tarmac finish, so great for steam era and a little bit beyond. And as ever, I've got my trusty camera here, ready for when we do get up close and personal with the kit. So let's have a look at getting started. So we're going to build a little bit of an island platform, I think we'll go for today. So we'll open this one back up. And these are your support structures for the inside. Makes the kit a lot more sturdy, adds a lot of structure in there as well. You can build up this platform kit to any size, any shape. We'll stick with a standard sort of shape today, but let's have a look at some of these parts that we get. Now, as you can see here, a lot of them are pre-cut, so they'll just need pressing out of the pack. In some cases, you will need your scalpel just to score them out a little further. But today we can just press these out, as you see. If there are any slightly sharper joins, do just get your scalpel and just give that a run down the join line and that'll separate it up. Just make sure that kit stays stood up there at the side. It might want to make a bid for it again, but we'll see how we do. We'll put another score in that end. I didn't think that was going to stay up. And then I will just push that out and we have our first cross brace piece. So you can see there that will sit underneath the platform and act as a support for when we join that together. So let's get started on that particular piece. We'll get our glue out and ready. And you'll see on the back of the glue here that it does have a tiny little applicator if you're putting it in some really precise places. You can see that just attached to the back there. For the purposes of this, I'll be leaving it on. We don't quite need to get that precise with today's kit, so I will leave that as it is. The good bonus about the Metcalfe kits as well is they do come, as with pretty much everything in Model Railways, with a full set of comprehensive instructions. So if you do miss any of the steps that I go through today, any of the kits you buy will contain these instructions in how to get them going. So let's just get our support structure ready, because then that will tell us how wide our platform can be. So all we do is we take the first bit of our glue Just a little bit on the strengthener there. I'll just put a little bit on here. Just see that there. Again, make sure you do this on a fairly clean surface, so you're prepared to clean it up again. We'll just stick that on. Hold it for a few seconds so the glue bonds. And what we'll do now in the meantime is we'll just measure that up so we can see how wide our platform is going to be. So we'll get our steel ruler, get the measurements against. I make that out to be 6 centimeters. If we allow a little bit for overhang as well, if you look at some of the platforms out there in real life, you'll see that there always is a little bit of an overhang between the wall and the edge of the platform. It's a great chance to do some research out there too. If you're down at your local railway station, you can take a picture of the platform to help inspire you and to get your model right. So we know now that this needs to be 6 centimeters wide. So I will get my pencil, put it right up against the edge, and just mark where we have 6 centimeters. I think I'm going to build it a little longer, but not by too much. Let's say 10 centimeters. So again, just marking on there exactly where that is. And if you don't want to damage the top, you can use a pencil and it will rub out, or you can mark it underneath as well. So then you can do your cutting and you don't need to worry about damaging the top. It's entirely up to you. I'll just show you there that you can do it on the bottom as well. But if you are using a fairly sharp pencil, you should have no issues with rubbing out the pencil off the top. So I'm just going to make sure that's parallel by using the lines on my cutting mat. And then I'm just going to make sure we get the right place where these two join, so we know exactly what we need to cut for the top of our platform piece. So you can see there now, I'll give you a little close-up on the close-up camera. You can see that we've got our X marks the spot, which is our first platform piece. I imagine a lot of you will be building rather larger platforms than what I'm building today, but just for the purposes of this, I'll show you what we have to hand. So again, lining up your steel ruler and just pressing down quite toughly on your scalpel. Obviously do watch out for the sharp edges here. You should be able to get it in one cut, but it might just take a couple of goes there. So we'll just send it through again just to make absolutely certain that that's cut. And then I'll just do that the other way. So we're just releasing this little section that we are going to build. And there's no additional tools than what you see here either. I've used everything that we're going to use today now. It's just a case of repeating this process for when you build more platforms. The sheets do come in A4 size, but you can add on to them. You can make some really long platforms here. You can build up these structure supports to make curved platforms as well. So you've got some real opportunities. But there we go. Only a couple of cuts, and that I didn't even need to pull that really. It just fell off the remains of the cardboard. So we'll keep that aside, maybe for a future project if we're building a further platform in the future. But you can see how this is starting to take shape now. We have our platform top. We have our support structure that will go underneath. I will just make another one of those so we've got it to hand, and then we can put that on the other side. So I will get my sheet back of those supports. And you should put these, it depends on the size of your platform, how many you should put in. I've just seen that question come up in the chat. But as we're only building a small piece today, we can just get away with putting 2 on, but you do get several of these in the kit. I'm only showing one sheet of them today, but you do get further support pieces. There's enough in this particular kit to build around 7 feet of platforms, and that's in normal scale rather than 00. I think a 7 feet platform would be quite short in 00 scale. And again, just putting a little bit of glue onto that there, and we'll let that dry. So as one of you has said in the chat as well, I believe Alex has said it there, it's a really good tip actually. Paper clips are a handy holder. You can put a good bit of pressure on with your finger and your thumb, but if you do need to free your hands up for something else, a paper clip's a really good, useful tool just to keep hold of that while it dries. And it does dry quite quickly as well. It's a very fast reacting glue. If I was doing it myself on my own layer, I would leave it a couple of minutes, but while we're here today, I'll just do that very quickly for you. And while that dries, I'll just answer a quick question there. Philip, yes, if you check both our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, every single one of these live streams that we've produced and we are producing in the future is available to watch back. So if you do need this as a reference when you're building your kit up, feel free to check out either of those channels and they are on there. And Kelly, it might not be your thing right now, but hopefully I'm making it look easy enough that you do fancy giving it a go. There's some great prices on these kits. They come in at a really inexpensive price. There's a lot smaller variations than the platforms too. So hopefully I may inspire you to give something like this a go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add that support structure to the platform. So you can see there, if I just put that underneath, you'll see that we're starting to get a platform together now. We've still need some sides, but we've certainly got a top. And if I put a bit of weight on that, that's very, very sturdy and very, very structurally sound too. So I'll just get a little bit of glue and put it all along the edges of this support structure. Make sure you only put it on one edge, otherwise you'll possibly glue it to your workbench or your layout, and you might not want to do that at this early stage. But for now, you can see there that I've lined the whole of the support in glue, and I will just stick and press that down. Again, quite a firm press just to make sure it stays in place. But we can see already that that is immediately starting to take hold. I'll just very quickly get the other one ready so we can get on to the final part of today's video and show you how the sides go on. There's a couple of different ways you can fit the platform sides, and I'll show you my preferred way. But you can, if you wish, put the sides on before you put the support structures. You just won't have as much support on the structure itself. However, this is the way I prefer to do it, and it is the way that's suggested in the instructions as well. But with a lot of these things, especially the card kits, you may have your own preferred way of putting them together. So, and as with a lot of these things, there are several different ways, and some of them are not right or wrong. So now we have our edges. Now we get into the fun bit. So again, we'll just press one of these out. We'll make sure we get a straight one. We'll just need to cut at the top and the bottom there, as we did with the other pieces, just to make sure they are removed. So I'll grab my knife again. I'll just let that keep drying there for a second. And just making one more cut at each end to release that. You'll find often with Metcalf kits, they are secured at the top and the bottom of the sheet, but the sides are free. So if we push that away now, just give that a little twist. There we are. Our side is ready. So again, we know we're a 10 centimeter long platform today. So we'll just have a check where 10 centimeters is. We won't damage the top. We'll just make a very quick mark as to where 10 centimeters is there. So we know where we need to cut. And then lining that up, we'll get our scalpel again and pressing down really firm. We might be able to do this in one. We'll give it a go. I think we might need another cut. There we are. We now have our cut to size platform edge. And I think you know what's coming here, guys. Surely it's a bit more glue. So we will get our glue and we will line the top. This is going to go onto the bottom of the tarmac. And we'll also put a bit on the side supporting structures here as well. So we know we're going to get a really good and really firm attachment there. Make sure you get the glue edge on the tarmac. Press it down. Make sure everything is connected. Give it a couple of seconds to dry. Again, if you do have the chance, give it a little longer, but we're just running a little quickly on today's video. And how does that look? For something that's been, I'll admit, a little bit of a rush job to make sure it's done for your video. But at the same time now, we've got our edging, we've got our top, we've got the little lip underneath as well. And just as a little bit of a bonus section, I will cut off some of these strips, the self-adhesive strips. Just make sure again that we've got the right amount. Got 10 centimeters. Now these will go down the edge of the platform to act as coping stones, or in some cases as well, especially on more modern platforms, they do act to help partially sighted people be able to see where the platforms end, and then they just peel away. And again, I've not applied the full amount of detail I would do usually to this, but I will just put that on there, right up against the edge. And there we go. We've got a good bit of a platform there. Now that's just sticky backed, so it can go straight down onto the rear. So, and you can go even further from there if you wanted. You can grab some of the cardboard, put yourself a wall on the back. We'd need, if we were doing an island platform, another side to the platform there too. You can add some of the supports that go underneath, some of the coping stones that go underneath the side there. But right now, we've got our platform. It's pretty sturdy, as you can see. I'm giving that a bit of a hit. Sorry about the screen there. I'm not quite sure what happened, but that should be okay for you now. You can get a good close look at that platform piece that we've made. And again, if you did spend a little bit more time, you'd certainly get a little bit more finesse on the detailing there and making sure the adhesive coping stones go in the right place. But that is essentially the full skills that you need. You can end up, if you get really skilled with these kits, you can certainly build something like this here, which is one of the houses. You've got many, many different varieties there. You've got viaducts, station buildings. Have a look at the range. If you're a double O gauge or an N gauge modeler, there's hundreds and hundreds of different Metcalf kits that you can build. The skills that I've covered here today are essentially the main skills that you will need to put a Metcalf kit together. You don't really need anything else other than your pencil, ruler, good scalpel, and the rocket card glue too. All the instructions and the bits you'll need come in with the kit, so you don't need to buy anything extra or additional pieces. But at the same time, you can enhance these with lights, with weathering. You can paint them different colors should you wish to really individualize them for your layout. But they do really go together quite simply. As you can see here, this is really structurally sound. You could put quite a bit of weight on this if you wanted, and you wouldn't have an issue. And you can do that as well with some of the bridges. You can lay tracks straight onto them, should you wish. The process for curving the platform's Rex is pretty much as we did it. We get the platform pieces, and then you would curve the actual card itself, and then build the joined support structure within that. Again, that is contained in the full set of instructions. You've got a full selection there on doing curved platforms, custom shaped platforms in there too. Unfortunately, I don't have time to show you on today's videos, but it certainly is something I will check out in the future for you. So the scalpel I've got here, Chesterline, is one that we have available on our website. If you check our website for information on the knives and scalpels. This is just a standard one from the Expo range, but there's a lot of different variations out there. But pretty much any scalpel will do for doing this. It's just for releasing some of the parts from the fret, as we saw before. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight into getting a card kit started. I'd love to be here for hours and put a full one of these platforms together for you. Unfortunately, I've not got time today, but I do hope it's inspired you to go away and have a look at these kits. There really isn't anything I've missed off today, even if you're building one of the more complex buildings, as you see here. It is a case of just sticking the different pieces together. There's some really good card kits out there. As Sammy B Films has just mentioned, there is some really good models out there. The quality of them really is up there next to the pre-made buildings and resin buildings too. Paul, the glue is something we have available as well. It's the AD57 Rocket Card Glue, which you can get from hattons.co.uk. And, well, everything you see here you can get from hattons.co.uk. The tools, the kits, all what you see is available from us right now. So do click that link in the description. I've put a link in there for you for more card kits. There's the full range you'll see in there. Whether you're a modeler of the Victorian era or the current day, there's bound to be something in there that takes your interest. It really is something for a good couple of hours on certainly coming into a winter's evening and just sitting there and building something for your layout that's quite inexpensive, really easy to put together, especially with a little bit more time, and just adds a little bit of individuality to your layout. So I hope, again, I've shown you a skill that you might have been a little bit scared of, you might not have thought about doing, but it's really accessible, and I hope you get started in building some of the card kits. Otherwise, make sure you like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Make sure you like our Facebook page as well. We will be bringing you more SkillsCasts videos like this. So if there's any particular skill you'd like to learn or anything you want to see, do leave a note in the comments or get in touch with us in the usual ways, as we're always open to suggestions. I can see we've already had some in the chat there, so I will have a look at that after the stream. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any further questions about putting card kits together, please, again, do put your notes in the comments and we'll help you where we can. Make sure to click that link in the description for more information. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching. See you again soon. Take care.